This video is on the division algorithm, and it comes from our multiplying and dividing section of our lecture, multiplying, dividing of whole numbers. And the division algorithm stated here looks kind of interesting and complex, so it's hard to understand. It's abstract using variables. I want to just start by using an example. So looking at the first 57 divided by 9, let's recall how to go ahead and then divide that, right? Long division, the old way with long division here is to say 9 goes into 57, how many times? 6, 54, remainder 3. And so in this case, what we end up having is that 57 can be rewritten as the product of two numbers, 9 times 6, plus the remainder 3. So that's 54 plus 3 is 57. And what is happening here is this 9 has a special name. That 9 is called the divisor, because that's what's dividing into 57. 6 has a name that's called the quotient. And then 3 has a name that's the remainder. And so in this case here, we can now go back to the division algorithm here. If A and B are any whole numbers, there exist unique numbers Q and R such that A is equal to B times Q plus R, where R, the remainder, has to be between 0 and B. In that case, would be 0 and 9. So what we're talking about here is that any number can be thought of in this way, a product of two numbers plus another number, which then leads us to kind of the division algorithm and why that works and why the remainder is part of the answer here. And so if we continue to look on here, the first one here is kind of, I did the first one here, but it's also done kind of what the textbook did here. And so you can see here's 57. How many 9s go into 57? That's 6, so that's called the quotient, right? And then the remainder, what's left over, 3. So you can physically see how many 9s go into 57, and there's a remainder of 3. Now, what does this look like for 44? What do we know about 44 divided by 13? What we know from there that would be 13 times 3 plus 5. How did I just come up with that? Well, what I did is I did the division algorithm. How many times does 13 go into 44? It goes in 3 times. What's the remainder? 5. And so that's where that gets produced there. And then for C, using the division algorithm, right, find the quotient and remainder. We'll do 96 over here. 96 divided by 8. 96 divided by 8, we would then go ahead and look at 8 into 96. How many times? 10, 11, I think 12. It goes in 96, remainder 0. So what we have here is 96 is equal to, and I shouldn't put an equals to, that just to solve that problem, it leads to that, right? And then we end up with that. So we have 44 is equal to 13 times 3 plus 5. And then over here we have 96 is equal to 8 times 12 plus 0. There's your divisor, there's your quotient, there's your remainder. Divisor, quotient, remainder. That's it.